WWE and AEW might be announcing some new signings soon. We're going to talk about who it may be, when to expect it, possible debut tonight for Dynamite. Yeah, so much more coming up. Don't forget, we're giving away this championship belt at 100,000 subscribers. So go ahead and click subscribe today if you want a chance to win. Welcome back to the Yango Show, nonstop news in 2024. I want to kick things off with Triple H. Obviously, there's a big announcement going into Thursday, January 4th. Wow, that was crazy. January 4th, Triple H is expected to make a big announcement on Peacock. We've been talking a little bit about this on the channel. Obviously, a lot of people are speculating that it's going to be the TNA WWE announcement. I have been very clear on my live stream. I said if WWE enters a partnership with TNA, which that is a big if, by the way, but if they do enter a partnership, the likelihood of Triple H being the one to announce it, it's very unlikely, let alone I don't think it would be announced live on Peacock. So much so, now PW Insider has actually come out and said that Triple H's announcement tomorrow is not related to a TNA working agreement or anything related to that company. There is absolutely nothing to that connection being made. So I am going to go and tell you guys right off the rip, when we first heard about Triple H making an announcement, I believe it is somewhere along the lines of WrestleMania 41, the destination of WrestleMania 41, how to get ticket information, that type of thing. I've also said in that previous video the other day, guys, these announcements, major announcements from all these companies, it's cool, but you got to be careful how you advertise these announcements, because if you drop announcements that aren't really that major, you're going to turn fans off. And obviously this is live on Peacock, so we'll see kind of the direction that they go. But of course, I think a lot of people are getting their expectations. They have very high expectations here, and I think people are setting themselves up for failure. I think they're setting themselves up for sadness, because realistically, I don't expect anything too crazy to be announced here. WrestleMania 41 destination could be very realistic. I would be very shocked, and quite honestly, I'd be very shocked if WWE announced the TV deal on live Peacock, but typically those types of things are announced on a press release. We'll see. Obviously, a lot of people will be tuning in to Peacock to see what it is, but I just have a feeling a lot of people are going to be disappointed, and that's just the reality with the way things are in wrestling anytime there is a big announcement. So with that being said, if you guys were expecting TNA WWE announcement, yeah, that's probably not going to be the place. Just want to reiterate that again. But let me know what you guys think in the comment section. Let me know what you guys personally think the announcement will be. I don't think it's that far-fetched that WWE could be announcing WrestleMania 41 destination, stuff like that. But of course, this is WWE trying to make New Year's week a big one. And what a start to 2024. Guys, Tony Khan has reportedly had talks with Deonna Purrazzo. Look, I mean, we all kind of knew that she was on her way out of TNA. Sean Ross Sapp of Fightful Select has reported that multiple companies had already expressed interest in Deonna Purrazzo. Numerous sources indicated that there have been some internal discussions in AEW with Deonna Purrazzo, and AEW is hopeful that they can land her. It was also said from Deonna Purrazzo's side that AEW is the preferred landing spot after she finished up with TNA. It was also mentioned that she did have contact with WWE, but sources in the company indicated most, if not all, of their free agent discussions had been tabled until the new year started. Look, Deonna Purrazzo had multiple stints in the WWE. Deonna Purrazzo obviously held things down in Impact Wrestling. I'm a big fan of Deonna Purrazzo. Her going to AEW really does help the AEW women's division. Again, I will continue to say this when it comes to the women's division for AEW. Recently, it feels like things are picking up steam a little bit. But signings aren't going to be the thing that solves it. You got to have good booking. And I'm hoping that AEW bringing in Deonna really helps, because look at who they have on their women's roster. Britt Baker, she's a star. Jamie Hayter, she's a star. You know, they have Thunder Rosa, star. They have a lot of great talent in that women's division. Sky Blue is becoming a star. Julia Hart is becoming a star. Willow Nightingale becoming a star. You bring in Mercedes Varnado and you bring in Deonna Purrazzo. Those are two very good signings. Those are key signings that help elevate your women's division. But at the end of the day, it's also about booking and creative and stuff like that. So you have to have faith that Tony Khan will do right by these signings. Historically, he hasn't necessarily done that. Does that mean it's all doom and gloom? No, it doesn't. It means that Tony Khan has an opportunity for improvement, and hopefully this is the type of stuff that helps improve. So Deonna Purrazzo going to AEW wouldn't necessarily shock me. I will say I did meet Deonna Purrazzo when I visited Impact last year. She was a very, very good person to interact with. Just positive things I can say about Deonna. And when I have those types of experiences, I hope for nothing but the best. So this to me makes a lot of sense. Deonna Purrazzo going to AEW would make a lot of sense. And I actually predict that Deonna Purrazzo will debut as soon as tonight. And it would be very interesting if AEW pulls a double whammy and surprises everybody with Deonna and Mercedes. But this is what's going to get people talking, and hopefully this points AEW in the right direction, which is all that we can necessarily hope for. And our final topic, WWE obviously has interest in signings. There's been rumors about this in the past. Now, House of Wrestling has reported that WWE is super high on former NWA star Camille. Very interestingly enough, her last match for NWA took place on November 18th. She was on an episode of NWA Power, and we haven't really seen her since. Obviously with NWA, things are a little bit tricky because nobody really knows what's happening with the company, with the CW TV deal and stuff like that. But there's been some talks that Camille was not going to re-sign with the NWA. House of Wrestling did report that her exit from the NWA was amicable, and she was really thankful for her time there. She spent 812 days as the NWA World Women's Champion. But they actually learned, House of Wrestling has learned from a long-tenured WWE source that WWE is super high on Camille. It was noted that she is high up on the company's radar and that they are in signing mode following the UFC and WWE merger. The company is looking at bringing in some fresh faces that can make an impact. And look, just to be fair, right? Camille fits the WWE system. Deonna Purrazzo fits the AEW system. I don't see an issue with this. I think between both of them, they look like they could be headed to the companies that make the most sense for them, which I think that's a good thing. I'm actually excited, for a guy like me who sometimes could get annoyed with signings, right? Just in general, I just kind of want to point this out. Sometimes too many signings, whatever it may be. It is really refreshing to see that there is a massive shakeup right now in wrestling where talent from everywhere is going everywhere. So it's actually kind of fun to see who's going to go where, what they're going to do. Obviously, just like I said with with AEW, WWE has to do a really good job with the women that they're bringing in. That's very clear. They have to do a good job with the women they're going to bring in. They have to do a good job with the signings that they're going to bring in. You can't have room for failure. You got to show people that when you're signing talent, you're going to do something with them. And that, to me, is a very exciting thing. So we'll see what happens. Let me know what you guys think down below. Don't forget about this contest. And as always, guys, I'll see you next time.